Good evening, and welcome to another episode of the Defender Fitness Alliance show. Before we get started, again, guys, thank you for being part of the Alliance. And if you guys know of any veterans or any law enforcement officers or any first responders that can benefit from our group that are into fitness, health and fitness, that are in the health and fitness business, please have them join the Alliance and benefit from the group. All right, guys. With that being said, I have a very special guest this evening. I have a Army veteran and also the owner of Fortitude Tech LLC. He's also a lawyer and an author, author of The Rise of the Vetrepreneur. I have Ricoh Danielson. Ricoh,
Hey,
thank you for coming on the show. Can you start off by telling us a little bit about your service and what you're up to now?
yeah. So definitely, thanks for having me on the show, man. I'm really excited. This is one of the bigger ones that I was really trying to work towards to get on. So I thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Well, thank
I
you.
really
Appreciate it.
appreciate you, like your audience, and like everyone is a part of your alliance. Like everyone's really into fitness, and that I love very much. So good for you guys, and good for everyone else in your group. And if I can ever support them in any way, let me know. So
Awesome.
I was in the army for a little while. Went to Iraq, came home. I actually wound up going on to a drug interdiction operation as well, working with Border Patrol, BORTAC, and BORSTAR, chasing bad boys down on the border. It was real fun. And then I had this great idea. I was like, hey, I got a good idea. I'm going to go back to overseas again and become a security operator. So I did that for a long time. Got to go work with high speed guys, really good stuff, got some high level training. And then after that, I think about my sixth time going overseas, I was like, I need to have an end game here. And so I started doing a lot more security stuff, but kind of dabble into the information security side for forensics. And there's just a whole big gambit of business in that. And then in 2014 was my last go around in Afghanistan as a private security operator. I think my body, all the injuries and everything else, multiple surgeries, and the purpose of why I went out there in the first place was kind of like, okay, I'm here, I did it, it's time to wrap it up and go home. And that was, I think, about my ninth time I went overseas, and I was like,
Wow.
I think I'm good here, guys. And that was a mixture between deployments, and I mean, whenever I say overseas, I'm using that very loosely, like overseas, either with the Army, DoD, OGA, or whatever, right? And it was good, it was fun. But right before I left for Afghanistan, I think the year prior, actually I finished up law school, and I was working as a veteran court advocate, helping up veteran court stood up in Phoenix, Arizona, helping getting treatment over punishment. And I kind of got burnt out. I was also a suicide counselor, prevention suicide counselor then, and so I was leveraging my law degree in the mental health industry, just trying to work with all sorts of avenues, just so we can get better benefits and better treatment, if we will. And I think I burnt myself out. So actually going to Afghanistan served two purposes. One, it gave me a mini vacation. I'm not gonna lie, I really love that stuff. And two, it gave me more money to go back to court for my son, and that's actually still going right now. So that did pretty well. And then I came home. But prior to that, like in 2011, when I first started law school, I actually started
Mhm.
up my digital forensics firm, and just going through the process of ownership, getting high profile cases like death penalty, um, all sorts of weird stuff, and then that kind of just transitioned to, I realized that I could use a lot of business ownership skills that I've learned through heartaches and pain and going broke to smaller gyms and bars and stuff like that. And then that actually offshooted to another set of business that I do is small business consulting, and helping business owners get to where they want to be, specifically with gyms.
Oh, Rico, man, you just listening to that, you seem to wear a lot of hats during your time, your career. Um, so you spent a little time in the army, and then you went into the private security. You went back overseas more times than some of our service members. It seems like you said you went out 9 times.
Yeah, it was roughly, so if you count back and forth, that's what I did. I counted different rotations 9 times, because each time you would go back, you would be on a different tasking,
Oh, okay.
whether it was diplomatic protection, you were doing Angel Security or whatever, PSD, Convoy Security. So it was, each detail was a little bit different each time. So it's just like doing a new job, but exact same set of skills.
And it seems like every career that you've taken have led you to the next. You went to the Army, took you to the private security, and then from the private security, that's where you found out about forensics and into what you're doing now.
Yeah.
How did that all like? How did you get all that? I mean, how did that all come together?
Sure.
With
So what I think, I honestly believe that I'm fortunately stupid enough to stumble forward. And so what I was doing was like, oh man, this is not going to work out. Being a combat MOS only goes so far, and then your body and then everything else life kind of just catches up to it, and you're like, oh shit, or shoot, and then you just kind of move forward. And then I'm like, what are those guys doing? And I think I had the enough gumption in my mind to say, what are the next guys doing? Because I still have friends who are still in the Army, and I think
Mhm.
they're about to retire, and one of or a few of them were like, dude, what do we do now? Like, and
Right.
and I and I thank God. I'm like, I thank God I always had the fear enough to say I think I need to leave and do my own thing. And now I'm kind of 10 years ahead of them, and it
Right.
it kind of sucks and it kind of doesn't. But you're right. It kind of naturally progressed to where I wanted to be, but I think I kind of forced myself in a certain way. But let's not get it twisted though. Like, um, right now I make pretty decent money, and I do all multiple things at one time. But you rewind the tape like maybe 6, 7 years ago, man, I was eating top ramen and noodles every day, top ramen noodles and cucumber and stuff that cost me. I think I calculated that each meal was less than $1.25 a meal.
Awesome, brother. So, for those of you guys that are listening, I guess the advice would be just to never be satisfied where you're at, and always look ahead to where you can be, to what you can do in the future. So, Rico, what would your advice be to those that are serving and those who are wanting to serve?
So, all right, so the ones I wanted to serve, right? No matter what the obstacle is, figure it out, get through it. I'm gonna be very honest with you. I took the ASVAB twice. The first time, horrible school, horrible. Like I remember the recruiter was like, "Jesus, buddy, seriously." And then and then the second time I passed, but it wasn't the best score. So while I was in the army, I actually rose it. I just wanted to be in so bad, and I just wanted to go out there and just fight and be just be a soldier. And
Right.
and I didn't let anything stand in my way. So if you're gonna go there, make sure come hell and high water you're gonna serve. Even if you gotta go in as a desk jockey, it doesn't matter. What matters is that the end goal that you're gonna get there. Who cares what other people think? Just go and do it, right?
Right.
So while you're in, there's a few things, right? If you're going to stay the long term, I have a lot of friends who stay long term, and they committed to the cause. They committed to the call of duty, and just do that. Be a good person. Remember, you're the one percenter, the less than people that can serve the country. So wear that badge of honor and do it good, right? If you're going to serve your time, either you're going to retire or ETS a little bit early. Here's exactly what I'll tell you: is one, be a damn good service member, be a good soldier, right place, right time, right uniform. Just remember those things and do the right thing, right? And then on your off hours, because I know you have off hours, is
Mhm.
get a damn side gig and do the side gig that you want to do, right? Like I personally, I've always wanted to do radio since I was 10, right? So what I'd always do is just meet people on radio. And one of my cool intern jobs that when I was, I think, 28 years old, mind you, I'm do my own thing. I would go at night to KDKB in Phoenix and actually be on the radio and disc jockey a little bit here and there. And I would be this guy's, I would just press buttons, but I wanted to be in radio so bad, you know? And that's what I did. I mean, so come hell or high water, I was doing my goal. But remember, it's going to cost you, right?
Right.
It's going to cost you your personal life. It's going to cost you maybe some relationships. But the one cost I would never tell anybody to pay is family cost. Don't ever let that cost you.
Excellent points, man. So, I'm going to go back here a little bit and go back to your transition phase. How was that experience for you? And what's one piece of advice that you would give to some of our viewers now who might be in that same position? What advice would you give them in regards to transitioning out of the uniform?
So transition out of the uniform was really tough for me. It went anywhere from just losing all sorts of jobs, losing, family time with my son, and then just not doing well at all in general. Just like not doing. as well as I thought I would be doing. And the issue with that was, is one, I thought I came from the military, I should know everything. In reality, no, no. I was playing. It's like saying a hockey player should be a good football player. Absolutely not. You're playing two different games, right? So when I came to the civilian world, one, I had the chip on my shoulder. I was like, I should just show up, be Johnny on the queue. Wrong answer, right? The other aspect was, um, I didn't necessarily didn't have respect for others, but more so I just felt like I was better than them, and I had to put myself in
Mm,
check, you know. And in reality of the situation, I hate saying this, and I'm a veteran, I love my veteran, but we as veterans need to check our egos, okay?
yeah.
And remember, we're the one who left. We're the one who went to fought the war, okay? These people, these civilians are great people now, very smart. They haven't left. They've been doing the exact same thing they've been doing for so long, and they've been damn good at it. So we have to come back and have a different perspective a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And say, hey,
That's
we're here. Yeah.
that's a good point because I mean you see it nowadays with like you said, it's in our community where some people they have that entitlement syndrome or whatever, or they feel like they're better than our civilian counterparts. Um, so, like, what would your I guess one piece of advice for them would be?
So as soon as you're out of the military, I kind of made this mistake, and I'm speaking from my experience. I can't tell you what to do. However, if somebody could have told me this is quarantine your veteran friends, hang out with your veteran friends whenever you need to hang out. But if you want to grow, you are going to need to hang around with some smart motherfuckers, right? You're going to need
Hmm.
to hang around with some people who have money. And guess what? I'm almost guarantee you less than 1% of them have ever been in the military, right? And I have friends who are extremely wealthy. They're millionaires, right? And none of them served. And there's a reason for that because they never called the duty. They never felt the call of duty. And two, they were just so good at what they did. So as I noticed, I started moving my target and positioning to where I wanted to be in regards to wealth and also alignment of success. I found myself that not a lot of veterans were there, and just not because they didn't want to be there.
Right.
It's just we're so huddled up together that I can take this is my experience now. Okay, um, my friends would be like, "Hey man, come on, have a beer and whatnot," and I know it's every damn weekend we're having a beer. But now I notice my friends over here on the other side. They're like, "Hey man, the weekend? Oh, that's cool. That's just another work day, bro. We got stuff to do, homeboy." And I'm
Right.
like, "Oh, okay. So this is the way the game is played." So my encouragement to people who are about to get out is diversify your friends.
It's a different mentality, I guess. Find
Way different.
people, yeah, find people who are achieving more than you, and see if you can get to that level.
Right, and also capitalize on your strengths, right? So I know a few different business owners, right? There've been multiple gyms, business owners who are civilians, and they hit me up like, Rico, you know how to be very structured, you know how to be very on time, this, that, and the order. Help me employ your discipline of what you already know, and this is stuff we already know, right?
Right.
So I show up into the gyms and I help them, just systemize their business a little bit better and look at things and like, no, do it this way, and all of a sudden we're working together now.
Can you I didn't mention it in the intro, but can you talk more about your background with owning gyms? Can you go talk more about
Right.
that with our audience?
Right. So what I usually do is I show up at the gyms, get to know the owners, understand the workout and the regiment program. And what happens is through just natural conversation, we actually wind up understanding what their pain points and needs are. Right. Most of the pain points are money. It's always money. Right.
Mhm.
And then their needs are like, hey, I need new equipment, this and the other. So we go through a couple of different negotiations and song and dances and whatnot. Right. Some of them might be bridge loaning, like if they need cash for an infusion of cash for gym equipment. So I say, okay, no problem. I'll do this for you on these amount of terms. Or the other one's like, hey, I need an investor. A lot of times, gym people don't need investors, and I highly discourage against investors. Okay, if anything, you should do a bridge loan because you just need a short duration of infusion of cash to build up your clientele, whatever, right? And then that brings in the other aspect of the clientele, saying, hey, you're at 80 members, let's get you to 200. Do you know how to do that? And a lot of gym members, just like hair salon people, which I love very much, they're really good at what they do, right? They're really good at being a gym owner. They're really good at being hair salonists. Let's get you back in there doing that and away from the business. And that's where I come to play. And that's where I help them grow the business, systemize their business, organize it, and make it more efficient and effective.
So kind of like you taking care of the business aspect and them having to deal with the fitness, the clients, and all that.
Right. Right, exactly. So like, hey, we'll sit on our monthly meeting. Hey, this is what your risk exposure is. A lot of gym members and also owners do not realize how heavy their risk exposure is if they have the right insurance. So let's say they get sued. It happens all the time, right? And it settles out of court. I can guarantee you, your local gym that makes $300,000 a year cannot handle a lawsuit of 500 grand. They're gonna be out of business. You know what I'm saying? And their insurance going back and forth with attorney fees is just going to rack up. That's another 200 grand. So they don't understand the risk exposure. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Awesome. All right, so Rico, going back to your time in your service in the Army, and then going to these many different fields, different careers. How did your time in the Army help you with your current business ventures now?
So the time in the army, it was real simple. Like it taught me, I love the guys who are my platoon sergeants and also my first sergeant and stuff like that. They taught me the three things: right place, right time, right uniform. And I am beyond surprised that people cannot get this right in the civilian world. Like it's real simple. Just show up at the right place. Don't look like a bag of smashed ass, and then the right place,
Yeah.
right time, right uniform, right? And other than that, the day is one. So I was able to translate that, but also being able to eat crap for a long time. I reference this in the book, The Rise of the Vetrepreneur. Is we got to a place in the Euphrates River, right? And we had to set up camp, and we literally had sandbags and e-tool. And I was like, this is gonna be home. And that what that did to me was, one, it sucked, right? Nobody wants to do
Mhm.
that stuff. And two, it made me realize I can literally make anything. I can make a living situation. I can make a firing position. I can make anything out of dirt in a bag. Oh, done deal. I mean, you put me in the civilian world. I'm like, that is rock bottom. And now you give me a nice AC, and I'm just doing spreadsheets for you. Pfft, oh, done day, bro.
Right.
So like what it does, is it minimize the stress for me, and also rationalize certain things of like, hey, we can do this. You can stay here till 12 hours a day. You can definitely do this. Because what's the alternative? Eating top ramen and filling sandbags. So
Good point. Good point.
yeah.
So I guess going into your business with Fortitude Forensics,
Yep.
what's been the worst moment so far in that business, and what's helped you to overcome that moment?
Yeah, so the worst part was I went broke a few times. And I was like, oh crap, I can't pay for my licenses, which are my tools, right, to do forensics cases. I can't pay for my technology. Those are my tools again. I couldn't pay my subcontractors, so that means that's an employee lawsuit right there. And I'm like, I have no money. I don't know what to do. So I have to do what I do best, and either do a part-time gig, get a part-time job, and it took a big blow to the ego for me because I'm like, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a veteran, I should be doing this. No, dude, you're fucking broke. That's what you are. So I actually had to just belly up and be like, you know what, man, I'm gonna go back to being a bouncer for a few, like 6 months, and until I can pay for my licenses for these tools, so I can do that. And in the daytime, what I was doing is cold calling attorneys, like, hey, can I get on your case for digital forensics? A lot of no's, man, a lot of no's. I've been told effed off quite a bit of times, but that was one painful moment right there, man. So
So are you still practicing?
yeah, so actually, I just got awarded a case today in Chandler, Arizona. So a lot of stuff comes out. It's like, hey, we need this specific type of digital forensics on certain cases. We're
Right.
here to help you out, and we do the best we can for the evidence, whether it's defense or prosecution. We don't care anymore. It's more about the evidence.
What's been, I guess, the best moment so far?
So I remember this one time, my friend, a dear friend of mine, Monique and Orly, they can vouch for this. I was working, I was studying, and I had this one bedroom apartment in downtown Phoenix, right, Central and Indian School. And I'm working. I had no office, so I literally cleared out my closet and I made my closet my office, right? And I was like, I'm gonna be here, and the only other job that I'm doing is bouncing at night on the few bars, right? And every day I'm here cold calling, doing my thing. I get like I think about 45 cases, right? And then I look up, and at that point I had started outsourcing certain forensics and cases and stuff. And my CPA is like, "Hey, are you going to deposit these checks?" I said, "What checks?" And he goes, "All these." And I look up and I'm like, that's cool, because I had no clue, because I'm still over here eating top ramen noodles,
You were
and I'm
working,
like,
man.
I was working, and I
Yeah.
realized I was like, oh wow, I actually have some money. And I remember
Right.
that day, I didn't go to I love Steak 44 and Ruth Chris and all these nice steakhouses, but I actually wound up going to Logan's, and I actually had myself a nice steak. And I was like, oh okay, and that was one of the coolest moments I've ever had.
That's awesome, bro.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit more about your book, your current book, because I know you've written two, right? What was the first one?
So the first one was Battlefield Parenthood. It's a tactical manual for veteran parents, and what that is that's a manual. What I was starting to see in the veteran court system, a lot of specifically single fathers, sometimes mothers, were getting pulled away from their children and their families because they had PTSD and other disabilities and whatnot, and it was being heavily leveraged against them. So I was like, screw that. I'm gonna write a book, a tactical manual, how to stay in the game as a veteran parent with all the technology we have. Snapchat, little phones, little videos, and this, that, and the other. And I created just this book, and actually did pretty well. And I actually wound up teaching an army class, an army unit, on parenting. It was pretty cool.
Oh, that's
Um,
awesome. And
yeah, that I found that very rewarding, man.
yeah, got to help out a lot of families along the way as well.
Yeah, and I'm thinking about redoing it, because during that class, this I met these wives, and they're like, we could do this while my husband's on deployment, this and the other. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't even think about that. Like, taking these specific things of using Snapchat or using Instagram or whatever. And I'm actually in the process of developing Battlefield Parenthood, the app for parents, and to have 15-second videos of love and rejoice and whatnot. But they're like, yeah, we could do this. And I think right now, currently, I have over 553 videos for my son. So,
Oh,
but the
that's
second,
excellent, bro. Yeah,
yeah,
go
it's
ahead.
good. It's good. The second book, The Rise of the Vetrepreneur. So my intention with The Rise of the Vetrepreneur was first to, it was kind of, this is kind of arrogant to say, I was like, oh, I want to write my own journey. And I was like, dude, this sounds so narcissistic. Um, but just like any other entrepreneur, I think I'm the greatest thing since sliced bread, but I'm not. So I was like, let me take a step back. What would the customers, what would our readers want to see? And I saw that everyone loves these big veteran businesses like Grunt Style, 18 Series Nutrition, American Grains, Gorilla Outfitters, Mike, Epic Fitness. So I just went up to them. I was like, "Hey guys, do you guys want to help me write a book?" And those guys were like, "Hell yeah, we do." And I
Right.
realized, I was like, it's no longer about me. It's about capturing the journey about a veteran entrepreneur. And so what I did is just started capturing the journey and saying, "Hey, this is the stuff I've seen. Daniel, the owner from Grunt Style, says seeing the same thing. The guys from 18 Series Nutrition see the same thing. Mike from Gorilla Outfitters, same thing. American Grains, same thing." And I'm like, man, so I just started doing this. And at the end of the book, at the end of the chapter, I'll put tactical exercises, not only for myself, but also from the guys who provided some good contacts as well.
Awesome, man. And then you obviously got to learn more about their experiences and as far as like their entrepreneurship and experiences. So like what would your advice be, I guess, to well let's start off with veteran entrepreneurs or veterans who are looking into entrepreneurship. What's one piece of advice that you'd give them in that journey?
So let's just say you're an entrepreneur about to start your entrepreneur journey, right? One, if you have two dynamics, if you're a family person, you need to get a job and you need to have something to stability that'll provide for the family. Or if your business is already providing stability to it, great, just keep at it, right? If not, you have a job, work your side hustle, the business that you want, okay? But just remember, be responsible to your family. Remember, that's the reason you're here, okay? So that's number two. Number one is, let's say you are that single person and you're about to ETS and you're about to retire. I would highly, highly suggest you go to a shitty little studio or buy a little trailer and live out of that for a very long time. If you can make your bills literally under $500 a month, which I know you can,
Right.
and you can eat very minimally, you can even eat healthy very minimally as well on spending wise, and then just go after your business. Just do it. Go 100% in, and you'll be fine. So again, you have two different dichotomies there, right?
That's an excellent point, Rico, because I mean, guys, you guys have struggled through far greater hardships in the military, yeah, being deployed, and like you said, like eating MREs out of sandbox or whatever. I guess the point is like if you guys can, I know you guys can handle the struggle now and reap the benefits later on. Rico, so let's talk about my audience. There's a lot of personal trainers and gym owners. And you talked earlier about your experience with gym owners. What advice would you give them with their business, with their fitness business?
Sure. Okay, so when it comes to personal training and business ownership, it's a little bit two different things, but similar, right? When it comes to business ownership in the gym, figure out where your clientele is, what their specific needs are, and how to amplify that. Like if you're just trying to get people in the door and you're trying to increase your memberships, that's cool. It's only going to work for so far, because then you're going to become a Burger King or McDonald's or Walmart of the gym. It's just going to produce a bunch of shit and you're going to get shitty results, right? So here's what I would say is, if you're going to have to take that business model anyways, quarantine that to specific times of the day from like 11 to 5, right? And have classes in there and you're just a bunch of people just churning and burning. You have 13 memberships at $150 each. Do the math, right? And on the side, on the opposite side of the gym, if you can quarantine a little area that's specifically for your athlete, your high performers, who people who are serious about their fitness, right? And then you increase the revenue that way. At the end of the day, if you're not increasing your revenue, you're not going to make money, right?
Right.
So that's the kind of the different facets that I will tell you in regards to gym membership. Personal training, I'll tell you cash up front. Do not take per day basis, like pay when pay. Not at all. No, you need to actually show the add value, one, to the customer, and two, the commitment level. That's where that needs to be. So if you try those,
yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So one advice that I also tell is also, I mean, recurring income, right? Getting them on like a monthly or yearly plan. That way, you're not worried about when the money's coming in.
Right. So you can do that. So here's where I think LA Fitness and EOS Fitness kind of went wrong. Is they'll say for a year and you're locked in, and then you pay all these penalties. What we've done on the other side is like, hey, guess what we're gonna do is, it's month to month, but all we ask is for 30 to 60 day notice if you're gonna leave. No problem, and that gives you your opportunity to kind of regain the customer acquisition again, and also the customer loyalty again. And chances are your second time buyer, your second time sign up is actually going to pay for the personal training and membership and all the ancillary other shit.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to go to our audience here. We got several watching. Richard, we got Chris Hoffman. What's up, guys? Chris, let me show his comment here. Chris. Ricoh Danielson is the man, bringing the golden grenades, brother. Hey, Chris, thanks for watching. Find their needs and amplify them. Chris, thanks for the input. Richard, thank you for watching as well. So Ricoh, coming up in the last portion of the interview here. So this is the part of the interview where I ask my guests their 5 fitness facts. Are you ready?
Oh boy, let's hear it. Cheeseburgers, yes. Pizza all day.
All right, brother. So first question, what's your favorite workout?
Murphy. Like I try to do Murphy once a month. It's a CrossFit workout, and I actually try to step my game up within the hour to do it. It's brutal, it's hard, and I just, you're doing it for a purpose, and I love it.
Cross the Murph, guys. If you guys haven't heard that, man, if you guys haven't done it, I don't know why. It's brutal.
It's good.
What's your least favorite?
Back squats. I've had 2 surgeries on my back, and dude, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think I'm at 245s, and that's it. That's it, man. There's a lot of strength conditioning that go into it, and it's been about 4 years now, and it's just barely back to it. So
it's all those times that you did in private security, I bet. Right?
Yeah. Getting out of the Suburban, out of my coffee latte. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right. So next question: if you had to choose one person you could train with, who would it be and why?
Tam Lem. He goes by Ronin on Instagram.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
he is the dude moves like water. He strikes like lightning. I mean, the dude is so fluid. I wouldn't even want to train with him per se. I would just like to sit there and have a cup of coffee with him, man. To be honest with you, and just to pick his brain, kind of see we have similar backgrounds, and I'd just kind of like to see, how's life, not necessarily how's business, but life. And once you understand people how their life is, then you see how their business is. If they're a happy person, they're a happy person.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Recommend a book for our listeners to read.
I have a lot of books, right? So the one I really like, I listen to, I think weekly now. It's called Grit. I forget the author, but it talks about how he was a child and his childhood job as 15 years old to help his father out as a mortician. I was like,
Mm.
wow, that blows my mind. Now, so there's that, Relentless. There is Grit, Relentless. What else? Crushing It by Gary Vaynerchuk was pretty good.
Mm.
Um, and I mean, there's a bunch of other ones. I forget. Team of Teams was really good. I appreciated that one. And yeah, I got a lot of them, man.
I
Try to
love Gary.
do, yeah,
I love
Gary Vaynerchuk.
Gary V. Yeah.
I'm gonna try to go to one of his conferences this year. So
Right.
that's, yep, mark my
Guys, if you
words.
guys need some motivation, just listen to Gary Vee. Just look him up on YouTube or whatever. Listen to
See,
his interviews.
so I drink a coffee every morning, right?
Right.
And all I can hear is Gary Vee like, if you have a $5 coffee, you're fancy. And I'm like, oh, well, all right, well, there's that.
All right, brother. So, next question. Tell us your favorite quote and why.
Oh, okay. Recently, it's by my little brother, cousin Josh Danielson, and he says, "I don't want you to do your best. I want you to do my best." And that's why he's a CISO. That's why he's in charge. That's why he's in a leadership position. And I get it. So, whenever you say it out loud, you're right. I don't want you to do your best. I want you to do my best. Because if once we're at my level, then we're all performing. So it makes total sense. My other one was by the late great Master Gunnery Sergeant Danielson, my father. The sweet don't get sweet without the bitter. And that has rung through my life so much.
The sweet don't get sweet without the bitter.
That's
And
right, man.
the other one was don't do your best, do my best.
Mm.
Awesome quotes, man.
Yeah, yeah.
And Rico, so for viewers and listeners, where can they be able to connect with you?
Sure. So you can go to my website, RicoDanielson.com, RicoDanielson, or you can go to my Instagram, Rico Danielson. I'm also on Facebook. If you guys want to get weird with me, come on my Snapchat channel. Just see all the shenanigans that I do. I might send you a poop emoji. I don't know. We'll see. So,
And
so yeah.
you also have another IG account, Amerigum.
Oh
What
yeah,
is that?
that's my other business. So it's
Oh, okay.
Amerigum Amerimints. That one, so I did the beta launch. It
Right.
was good. It got some waves. Now I'm actually revamping the feet and things. So that's coming out again real soon. Amerigum Amerimints is the patriotic load for your mouth, and it's pretty awesome. So yeah, I will mark my
Is that
words.
is that the slogan?
That is the slogan, man. I'll send you some. I'll send you
All
some.
right.
And so I pitched it to a grocery store, and they're like, "Rico, we love it." And I'm like, "Yes." And they go, "But can you change the logo?" I was like, "No, that is not. I'm not deviating from that."
Wow.
So
Well, guys, you guys heard it. Rico Danielson. Rico, you can find him on RicoDanielson.com. Look up his Fortitude Tech
Fortitude Tech, yeah,
Tech
LLC.com.
LLC. Look up his many Instagram accounts. Check him out on Snapchat. Maybe he'll send you a poop emoji or whatever. And check out that the Amerigum. So that's pretty interesting, man. I love the slogan as well with that.
Send me your address. I'll send you some. Any of the people who listen on this specific episode, DM you, and I'll send them a free one. Okay.
All right, guys. Hey, if you want Amerigum, DM me and Rico will send you with the
Absolutely.
products. Awesome, brother.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that, brother. Hey, one final question for me, Rico. What can I do to help you?
Just keep on being a badass, man. Just keep on being you. Like, you're pursuing your dream. You're doing what you want. Just keep going, man. Like, I have a feeling that you and I will be working together financially at some point. whatever you're doing, I want to be a part of. So it's more importantly not what you can do for me, but what can I do for you, my friend.
Awesome, man. I appreciate that, Rico, and I appreciate you for coming on and tuning into our episodes. And like I said, if there's anything I can do for you, just please let me know.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you.
All right, guys. With that being said, this ends our show. Rico, I want to thank you once again for coming on and for being part of the Alliance. All right, guys. Absolutely. We'll see you soon.
Thanks.